Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jimmy Naraine here, and I'd like to welcome you to day 5 of the Confidence Challenge. Now, first of all, I just want to ask you, how are you doing today? And what are the results of the challenge that you can already feel in your body and in your mind? I mean, do you have any aha moments, maybe some epiphanies? Perhaps there's something that you learned and you already managed to implement it in your everyday life? Well, please go ahead and post a comment in my Facebook group called Life Hacking with Jimmy Naraine and let us know. Because you see, the reality is that when I was creating that Facebook group, the last thing I wanted to build is another, platform with one-way communication where I essentially post videos and articles and different, food for thought, and that's it. Instead, I wanted to create something that's going to be very interactive. I'm trying to build a strong community of motivated individuals who really want to take their lives to a different level. But in order to do it, I need some interaction. And I can see that many of you have been posting some of your thoughts and some of your questions there, which is amazing. I want to thank you for that. And if you still haven't done it, or there is something else that you would like to share, please go ahead, just post something. Let's make this community very interactive. Let's learn from one another. So today I'd like to talk to you about something really, really powerful. And this is something that I talk about in many of my videos. So if you've been watching my courses before, if you've seen my YouTube channel, maybe you've been to my seminars, then you know that I talk a lot about pushing your comfort zone. Now, pushing your comfort zone is a really interesting topic because we all have certain comfort zone, right? I mean, these are the things that you feel comfortable with, but then there are certain things outside of your comfort zone that can be potentially life-changing. If you take that action, if you make that phone call, you talk to that person, you give that presentation, or you go to the gym and push yourself, then you will change your life for the better. But because that action is outside of your comfort zone, it's really tough to do it. And today I'd like to talk to you about pushing your comfort zone in the context of what happened to me in the last few months, because I think that you'll find it very interesting. Now, when I talk to people, so many people tell me that they are afraid of public speaking. But not just that, many people are afraid of interacting with big groups of people. So for example, let's say that you go to a dinner party and you have only 2 friends there, and then you arrive and it turns out that they are sitting at a big table with 10 different people that you don't know. And then one of your friends will quickly introduce you and someone will ask you a question. Oh, hey, what's up, man? I heard many things about you. So what exactly do you do? And the next thing you know, everyone is looking at you. Everyone is looking at you and you feel very uncomfortable because you feel like you are put on the spot. In your mind, you were about to go for a cool dinner and maybe go attend that party and just switch off and relax and not think about business. And the next thing you know, you have to kind of present in front of all of those people that you don't know. So when I talk to many individuals, I realize that most people struggle with this area of their lives. Most people struggle with giving public talks and with talking to groups of people, even in an informal setting, even if it's just talking to a group of friends. Now, to be totally honest with you, I'm not an exception. I mean, now I managed to build myself up. But I remember that back in the day, as you know, if you watch my first videos, you know that I really struggled with, talking on the stage and talking to big groups of people and, in general, interacting with others. I didn't really understand social dynamics. I didn't have confidence. My self-esteem was very low. So I had to learn how to break through that. But the funny thing is that, let me tell you a story actually. It's going to be quite interesting. So a few months ago, I was in Bangkok and I was sitting at a co-working space one evening. And then at one point, I don't know, for some strange reason, I had this thought, I want to go to Himalayas. It may sound strange to you. Why would I have this thought out of nowhere? But it happens in life. Sometimes you're doing something and then you have, totally unrelated thought that pops into your mind. You get an idea and for some reason you feel like you gotta execute it straight away. So I had this thought, I want to go and climb Himalayas. I've always wanted to do it. For some reason I've never done it because I always felt like it's such a big trip, I need to keep it for later. It has to be perfect. But that evening in the co-working space I realized, I just gotta pull the trigger right away, otherwise I'm not gonna do it. So I literally booked the flights within, I don't remember, maybe 1 hour from the initial idea. I booked the flights. No plan, I didn't have any gear, only summer clothes. Didn't even have a coat. But I booked a flight leaving maybe 2 or 3 weeks later from Bangkok to Nepal for 3 weeks. And then I decided, you know what, once I get there, I'm gonna figure everything out. Now, this is what I did. I went there, I bought all the gear in Kathmandu in Nepal. I went on Annapurna circuit, I was hiking there, amazing, amazing place. And I went solo, and even though I met many cool people during my journey, I still spent a lot of time on my own because I needed that reset. I really wanted to walk around, hike, see the nature, feel that fresh air. And I really wanted to have the time to think about my life, to think about my purpose, what I want to accomplish in my life, what I've already accomplished, where I am, where I want to be. All of those big questions of life. So one day I was walking, I was more than 4,000 meters above the sea level. It's already pretty tough to breathe, and I'm walking slowly, walking and thinking. And at one point I had this aha moment, and I realized that something is missing in my life. And the truth is that right now I'm living my dream lifestyle. I've always wanted to travel, I always wanted to help people, I always wanted to make money while doing those things. But there was something missing. And I realized that the missing element, the missing piece, was speaking in public. So as you probably know, I've been making videos for many years now. I probably made 1,000, maybe even more than 1,000 videos. So it became my new comfort zone. I mean, making a video like this one is gonna be one take. I may make a few mistakes, but I have no script. I just talk to you and that's it, right? So it became my new comfort zone. But because of that, I realized that very often when I had some type of opportunity to get on a stage and share my experiences with a live audience, I would back off. And I would rationalize to myself that, you know what, why would I share something on a stage in front of maybe 40, 50, 100 people if I can make a video and it can be seen by maybe 10,000 people or maybe 100,000 people or maybe 1 million people down the line. So in my mind, there was no point of speaking in public. But that day in Himalayas, I realized that it wasn't just about being smart about my time. It was also about me being afraid deep inside of presenting in public. And once again, bear in mind, this happened a few months ago. So you may be shocked when you hear this now, but it happened a few months ago. And I realized that I still had a little bit of fear of public speaking. Now in the last few years, I've spoken on a bunch of stages, but there was still this thought that because I make videos and I always present, everyone assumes that when I get on a stage, I'm gonna deliver an amazing presentation. So there was always a lot of pressure on me, and that pressure kept building up and building up and building up. And then whenever I had some type of opportunity to get on a stage, I would say to myself, holy shit, now everyone assumes that I'm gonna do such an amazing job. What if I will end up not living to that expectation? What's gonna happen? I'm gonna make a clown of myself. So I realized that I had that limiting belief. Now, what do you do when you realize that you are secretly afraid of something? What do you do? What do you normally do? Well, normally we try to rationalize why we don't need to do it, and we retreat back to our comfort zones. But that day in Himalayas, maybe because I was in the Zen mode, hiking 20, 30 kilometers a day with a 20-kilogram backpack, I'm looking at those amazing mountains and I just feel that anything is possible. Maybe that's why, but I decided, to commit myself to take a massive action. And when I say massive, I mean really, really massive. So not just giving one random speech, but I committed myself to doing a series of workshops and speeches all over the world. And then what could I do? What was the first step that I could take while being on the mountain? I mean, I couldn't give a speech on the mountain. Someone could argue that I could, but I mean, let's face it, I couldn't really do that. But I was thinking about, what can I do now in order to push myself, to take that first step to facing that fear. So basically, I sent a message to a co-working space in Bangkok that I used to work in, and and basically I told them that I would be willing to give a workshop. Now, a few weeks before, they kept telling me that I should give a workshop, that I should do some type of speech for them. And I was always saying, you know what, I'm not sure, maybe I'm traveling a lot, I'm not sure when I'm going to be back here. But I committed. So I sent them an email and I said, listen guys, I'm ready to come back to Bangkok and I'm ready to give a workshop for you. I can do it for free. These are the dates, and if you want, I can come over and do a workshop. And they said, sure, why not? Let's organize it. So they organized the workshop in Bangkok literally one day after coming back. So imagine, I'm still in the Zen mode after, leaving the mountains. And then the next thing you know, I land in this huge city. And it's overwhelming. I mean, there's stimuli everywhere, loads of cars and taxis and people, and my brain is just going crazy. It's too much, it's too much, it's too much. And I know that tomorrow I'll be given a presentation. So obviously I was a little bit freaked out. I was thinking to myself, holy shit, I'm supposed to present in front of maybe 20, 40, 50 people. Holy shit, I haven't even talked to 40 people in the last 3 weeks, It's gonna be crazy. But look, I went there, I was stressed out, I had to meditate before, calm myself, but I delivered a presentation. It was supposed to be only 1 hour, but people kept telling me, keep going, keep going, keep going. So I did a 2-hour workshop, I got standing ovation, and I realized this is what I gotta do, this is my calling. I love to be on a stage. I love to share my experiences and my knowledge with people. And some bullshit limiting belief should never stop me from doing that. And that was the breakthrough point, okay? But what do you need to do when you hit that breakthrough? What's the best thing to do? Well, some people celebrate, they party, they feel amazing. Oh yes, I made it. I managed to make it happen. And then what happens after a few weeks or after a few months? They go back to that same place where they started. And they have to fight through that fear once again. Now the way I see it, the moment you get a little bit of positive momentum, you have to keep pushing yourself, and keep pushing yourself to get to even higher level. So right after that speech in Bangkok, I scheduled a bunch of other workshops all over Europe. So I flew back to Europe, I did a couple of different presentations. Actually, one time I did 3 workshops, one day after another in Bucharest. One of them in front of 100 plus people. And I gotta tell you, there was still a little bit of fear because, before each presentation, I knew that I can nail it. Deep inside, I knew that, this is what I do. I know how to do it. I have value to offer. People will find it valuable. But there was always that small voice at the back of my head saying, what if you will end up losing your composure this time? What if you were lucky before? That bullshit limiting belief was still there. But then I did it again and again and again, and it kept getting better and better. Now the real breakthrough happened when I went to Barcelona for this amazing conference called Mind Value, and I ended up doing 2 workshops there in front of a really prominent audience. So one time I was doing a workshop about building best-selling video courses, building content, marketing. I did this workshop for 2 hours in front of more than 100 people, many of them best-selling authors, public speakers, CEOs of big companies, really, really prominent crowd. And paradoxically, before giving that workshop, I was less stressed than before giving a workshop in Bangkok. And most people tell me, well, this is crazy, why would you be less stressed when giving a presentation in front of such a prominent crowd? But the reality is that, it happened because I already conditioned myself to be on a stage. I conditioned myself, but it took some time, it took some guts, it took some effort to push myself day after day, okay, just to get to that stage. Now another thing that really helped me was that I discovered something really interesting. Being nervous and being excited are 2 very, very similar things. Now very often we feel like being excited and being nervous or scared is totally different. But when you really think about it, the emotions, the sensations you are experiencing in your body and in your mind are extremely similar. Now the only difference is when you are scared of something, when you are nervous about something, you assume that the outcome will be negative. And that's the difference. When you are excited about something, you either assume that the outcome will be positive or you don't even think about the outcome. You just want to enjoy the journey, and that's it. But when you're nervous, you are having the same sensations, but at the same time, you are having that weird voice at the back of your head saying, you know what? You won't succeed. This is not going to work out for you. So when I was presenting at Mind Valley in Barcelona, even though the audience was very prominent, I realized that, hey, I feel my heartbeat getting faster. I'm sweating a little bit. I have those sensations, but I realized that I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. And I would say it to myself. I would literally say it to myself. I wouldn't allow myself to think that something may go wrong. I would simply assume that, hey, I've given those presentations before. They've always went really, really well. Like, what's the probability that I'm gonna screw it up? What's the probability? It's 0, okay? It's gonna work out. It's gonna be the best speech of my life. And when you go out there with this attitude of being a winner, everything works out well for you. Now, after that, I went a step further and I ended up delivering a presentation entirely in Spanish for a different organization. So I did a workshop. It was a 45-minute workshop entirely in Spanish. And bear in mind, I learned Spanish on the streets and at parties. I never formally learned Spanish. I literally traveled to Spain many, many times, or to South America. And whenever I traveled there, I would just practice on the streets, talking to random people. That's how I learned the language. So, I mean, my Spanish is decent, but I make mistakes. But that didn't stop me from going on a stage and presenting. And instead of fighting with it, and instead of trying to be perfect and being stressed about, making a mistake, when I went to the stage, I told everyone in the audience, hey guys, just a heads up. My Spanish is, Spanish from the streets. I literally learned in bars and clubs. So please, it was so funny when it happened. But I basically told them, look, please accept me the way I am. I can't speak better than this. This is my level, and I can't do anything better, but I'm gonna do my best to give you as much value as possible. And people loved it. People were laughing their asses off, but they loved the fact that I was so honest with them. Instead of trying to pretend and instead of memorizing different lines, I just went out there and I said, hey guys, I'm gonna make a ton of mistakes. I speak Spanish from the streets, but I speak from my heart and I want to give you as much value as possible. They loved it, okay? So, last few months served as a great lesson for me, and I knew about those principles before. I teach those principles, but this was such a powerful reinforcement that whenever you are afraid of something, whenever something makes you feel uncomfortable, you really have to push through that. You gotta push your comfort zone and you gotta embrace it. You just gotta go with it. You gotta roll with the flow. Now, it's the same like with martial arts. When someone wants to push you, right, and you want to push them back, you're gonna collide, you're gonna clash. You have the clash of energies. It will not work. Instead, when someone wants to push you, instead of pushing them back, try to pull them, okay? Use their energy to your advantage. So when you are afraid of something, when something makes you feel uncomfortable, instead of trying to fight it, acknowledge, all right, I am a little bit afraid. Okay, I am a little bit stressed. I feel uncomfortable, but it's normal. It's normal. I'm excited. That's why I feel those things. I'm excited and I'm sure that it's going to work out well for me. And when you reframe it like this and then take action, everything will change. Everything will change. And it's not an easy journey, but I honestly believe that it's very important to follow that principle in every single walk of your life. Now, I give you quite a long example with public speaking. To be honest, I didn't plan to make this video so long, but I feel like this can be very beneficial to you because, you see, many people assume that I've been always confident. That's one thing. And another thing is, even if they know my story, even if they know that I used to struggle with confidence, they assume that right now I'm bulletproof because I've learned all of those strategies and I'm bulletproof and I'm not afraid of anything. So I try to embrace vulnerability in this video and share with you the real story. And the fact is, yes, a few months ago, when I was thinking about the prospect of presenting in front of 50 to 100 people on a stage, it made me feel uncomfortable. Okay? It made me feel a little bit scared. And I'm happy to admit it. And it's normal. And to be totally honest with you, I can't mention the names, but I know some high-level business people who are, in a way, celebrities in certain fields. And they even admitted to me that before they present on a stage, they still get those goosebumps. They still have those butterflies in their stomachs. And it's totally normal. And the way I see it, if those guys who are at that level, multi-millionaires, almost billionaires, some of them, if they still feel that sensation in their stomach, if they still have those weird, voices talking to them, bombarding them with all the negativity, then who am I, not to have those situations? Who am I, to be bulletproof? I mean, come on, we are just humans. And as long as you recognize it and you decide to go with the flow, roll with that fear, push your comfort zone step by step, then, your life will change. One action at a time, all right? Now, please let me know what you think about the story. If you have any similar story, please share it with me. Post a comment on my Facebook group, Life Hacking with Jimmy Naraine. By the way, I'm not sure if you saw it, guys, but I'm doing an implementation session very soon. Now, if you haven't signed up for that session, make sure that you do it because it's going to be really, really powerful. Now, normally, when I share videos with you, I pre-record those videos. So now I'm recording the video, and in 20 minutes, 30 minutes from now, my marketing director, Dragos, will upload this video so you guys can see it. But the implementation session will be totally different because it's going to be live. So for example, right now, if for some reason, I don't know, I have ADHD, I can't sit in one place, so as you see, I'm kind of moving around. If I drop the microphone right now, I would probably stop this video and make another one, right? Or I would try to edit it out somehow. But when I do the live session, anything may happen. We will be literally online at the same time. You'll be able to interact with me. You'll be able to ask questions. And of course, I have some content prepared for you. I'm going to share with you some amazing strategies that will help you to boost your confidence and self-esteem. But at the same time, I want to stay flexible. As you probably noticed, I don't use scripts. When I film, I don't use green screens. I don't do stuff like that. I like to speak from the heart. Sometimes I have an idea for a video, and I'd say this is an idea for a video, and then I kind of go here, and then I get another idea, and I go here, and then there, and then there. And I try to always stay flexible and follow my heart, follow, what it is that I want to talk about at any given time. So even though I prepped some great content for the live session, I'm going to stay flexible and I'm going to make sure that I will answer all of your questions. All right, so you'll be able to ask me questions if you have any concerns or maybe have some ideas you want to share. Guys, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to answer your questions real time, okay? And if I drop my microphone or something crazy happens, you will see it because I can't edit something that's going live. Anyway, guys, this video is probably half an hour long. Again, didn't plan to do it, but hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And I'm very excited to see you during the implementation session. I'm not sure where's the link, probably somewhere down below this video. I'm not sure where my friend Dragos will end up posting it, but I'm sure that there is some type of link. So please click on it, sign up for the session. It's totally free, and I'm gonna see you there. All the best, guys, and have an awesome day.